So we've officially completed the entire beginner section of this course. We've mastered variables, the data types, the if-else statement, the list, the loops, dictionaries, and most recently the functions. So we now have all the fundamental tools a programmer needs. So what's next? It's time for us to build something real. It's time to combine all of those skills into a larger, more useful project. And then I think for the next 2 lessons, we're going to be a software development team. Our mission is to build a command line contact book application. Alright, so before a single line of code is written on a professional project, the team gets together and then makes a plan. Alright, so they decide on the features, the minimum viable product. So let's do that now. So our contact book must have these core features. Let me just see if I can just put them somewhere here. A main menu that keeps showing up, allowing the user to choose an action, and then an option to add a new contact, and then we'll store a name and a phone number, and then an option to view all the contacts that we've saved, and then also an option to search for a contact by their name, and then a way to exit the application cleanly. And then next, how should we store data? A contact has 2 related pieces of information, a name and a phone number, right? What data structures is perfect for a key value pairs? A dictionary, right? And since we only have many contacts, what's the best way to store a sequence of items? It's a list. So our structure will be a list of dictionaries. All right. Now, a great way to build an application is to create a skeleton first. So we'll build the main we'll build the main menu and then the loop that keeps the program running, but we'll leave the actual features empty for now. All right, so let's get to it. So we're gonna make directory. Let's call it a contact, and then we're gonna change directory to now within that directory. We're gonna just make .py. So we're gonna start with an empty list. Our program will add dictionaries to it. Then we're gonna have information. Let's say a function. Show menu, a function to display menu options. Now we're going to create our main applications loop, so it runs forever until we break out of it. We can say while true. Now let's analyze the skeleton. We have an empty contact list that is ready to be filled, and then we put our menu display inside the show menu function just to keep our code organized. And then the while true creates an infinite loop, so this is what keeps our program running and showing the menu again and again. And then the if else block checks the user's choice. Notice we are comparing the choice to strings 1 or 2, 3, etc., because the input always gives us a string. So the break keyword is the new one. It's a special command that tells Python to immediately jump out of the current loop. It's our escape hatch, for the while true. All right, now let's run it and see. So let's say I press 4, then it says goodbye. As you can see, it gives you the placeholder message. So if we select option 4, it says goodbye, and then the program stops. No, we now have the working application frame. Remember, this is just a frame. So far we've planned a real application and then built its foundation. Now the next thing, we'll start adding the features. Now we'll write the code for the add contacts and then view the contacts feature. Okay, now we drew up the blueprint for contact book application and build the skeleton. So the main menu, the while loop to keep it running, and the logic to handle user choices. Now we're going to take that empty frame and start building the actual rooms. So we're going to implement the two most important features of our application: adding a new contact and viewing all the contacts that we've saved. All right, now feature 1, adding the contact. The best way to keep our main loop is to put the logic for each feature in its own function. So we need an add contact function. What does it do? It asks the user for the contact's name, and then they ask the user for the phone number, and then creates a dictionary for the new contact, and then add a dictionary to the main contact list. So let's write that code. So that gets user input, adds new contact, alright, and then we need to create a new dictionary. Let me someone make a comment here. So here we're using a title to keep the capitalization consistent. Alright, now that's perfect. So it's self-contained liquid tool. Now let's wire it up. So we go down to the while loop, if choice. So we're gonna just replace this one with add contact. Alright, so the next feature, now we need to build the view contacts function. So this function needs to check if the contact list is empty. If it is, it should say so the key part of a good user experience is actually the key part of the good user experience. So if the list is not empty, it needs to loop through our contact list. Now for each contact dictionary in the list, it should print the details in a clean, readable format. Alright, so let's go ahead and add that function. So that's before the while. Context. And then we need to check if the list is empty. Check if the list is empty. I'm gonna show you a cool trick here called enumerate. So we're gonna say for I contact in enumerate. Now what's that enumerate contacts 1 magic? So a normal for loop gives you just the item contact. And enumerate is a special function that gives you two things in each loop. So a counter, I, and the item contact. So it's perfect for creating a numbered list. The one tells us to actually start counting from 1 instead of the default 0. So again, inside the while loop, we're just gonna replace this with view contacts. Now let's test our program. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this, and then I'm gonna press 1 for a new contact, and then I'm gonna put SIPO, and the phone number 078-123-4567, and then put another one. Let's say Naledi. Zero 711234567, and then now I want to actually view the contacts. It's 2, so something is breaking there. Oh no, there it is. Then I can actually see my contact. Alright, it's just because it was going back to the menu. Then we can see the contacts nicely formatted. So it works. We have a program that can accept data, remember it, and display it back to us. So this is a real stateful application. So in our final lesson on this project, we'll implement a crucial search feature and add some final polish just to make our application complete. But we'll do that when we come back from the break. But it's time now to finish what we started. In our last two lessons, we planned and built a core for our contact book. So it's functional application. It can add contacts, it can create them, but there is one critical feature that is still missing. The one that turns a simple list into a useful tool, which is to search. So today we will build that final feature, and then we add the last piece of furniture, polish the application, and then complete our project. All right, so let's see if we can complete the project. So as always, we start by creating a dedicated function to keep our code clean. So what does our contacts function need to do? So ask the user for the name that they are looking for, the search term, and then go through our entire contact list, one contact at a time, and then for each contact, and then check if the search term matches their contact name, or rather their name. So if it finds any matches, it should display them. So if it goes through the whole list and finds nothing, it should tell the user. Now let's build it. A key for a good user experience is making the search case insensitive. So for example, other users, they might use lower cases on the search, others they use upper cases. So we should make sure that our function is case insensitive. So we can do this easily by converting both the search term and the contact name to lowercase before we can compare them. All right, so let's go ahead to our contact books. I think on contact book. So I'm gonna actually move there to contact book. And then somewhere here, we will just go ahead and create define a new function. Which is search contact. Or maybe let's rather do it. So this was our last function, view contact. So somewhere here at the end of this function, then we can go ahead and define a function which we call search a contact. So this will searches for contacts. So this is for a new line. So search for contact, and then here we will just create a temporary list to hold any contacts that we found. So we can say something like found contacts. And then we're going to loop through the main contacts list. Let me just make a comment here. So we loop through. Then we need to check. So we check if the search term is in the contact list, rather in the contact's name. and then also we have to make sure that it's case insensitive. So we make sure that it's in lowercase, in contact. Then we're going to store it in found contacts, dot append that contact. And then after the loop, so now after the loop we check if the found contact list has anything in it. So after the loop, all right, we need to actually check if our found contact list contacts list has anything in it. Just gonna print it was not there. All right, and then we can reuse our enumeric trick just to display the results. So we can just reuse it for contact in enumerate found contacts. I think we can just go ahead and copy this line here, because we just redoing the same thing. So this is a robust way to search, right? So by creating the found contacts list, we can handle cases where a search, maybe let's say for Sipho, might find both Sipho Khumalo, Sipho Williams. All right, now we just need to wire it up to our main loop. So somewhere here we'll just wire it up. You say search. So here we're just gonna say search contacts. All right, now let's go back. Let's take a step back and look at our finished code. We have contact list at the top acting as our database, right? We have a clean show menu function. We have a clean show menu function here, and then we've got we have three powerful single purpose functions: add contact, view contacts, and then contacts. And finally we have a simple readable while loop at the bottom that acts as our main engine. So this acts as our main engine of our application. So this is what good program structure looks like, right? Now let's do one final test run. So I'll add, I'm gonna run this Python, right? So I've got a menu and I'm gonna put 1, and then I'll add Sipho Khumalo, Sipho Khumalo. And then let's put a phone number: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. All right, I'm gonna add another one. Let's add a Thandi Mulife. 071 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, now I'm gonna search. Now I'm gonna view them to confirm it they're there. So view is 2 according to our menu. They should be, there we go. You can actually see our contacts that they're actually stored. And then now I'm gonna search for David. So search is for, it's number 3. Enter the name that you're looking for, and then I'm going to type David, and then it will say sorry, no contact found matching David. All right, so it correctly says no contact found, right? And then I'll Let me search for Tandy. So 3, and then I'm searching for Tandy. And if I search for Tandy, then you can see that one match. What did I type here? I said catch, found one. All right, I just need to fix something. Okay, so here, like match, one match. I don't know what I'm typing anymore, but it doesn't stop the program from not working. It's just a typo error on the string. And then I'll exit the program. 4 is to exit the program, and then it says goodbye. Now it works, it's complete. So we've done it from a blank file. We've designed and constructed a complete interactive and genuinely useful command line application. So we've combined variables, lists, dictionaries, loops, conditionals, and functions into a single cohesive project. Now this project is finished, but a programmer's journey of improvement never ends. So I'm going to give you a homework, your homework challenge. Make this application better. What we can do, you can add maybe a delete contact function. So this is the next logical step. You should probably search for a contact list first, then ask the user which one to delete, and then you'll actually need to use the .remove method to remove it. It's a remove list method, and then you can also prevent duplicates in your add contacts function. Check if the contact with the same phone number already exists before adding them. Now the super challenge is the data persistence. Right now the contacts are lost when the program closes, so you can probably research how to save your contact list like in a txt file or csv file, so when the program exits, and how to load it back in when the program starts again. So this is the key to making a truly permanent application. Now we have now reached the end of our interactive Python module. You have a solid practical understanding of the core of the language. So the next stage now of our journey will take us into a more advanced territory, starting with the single most important concepts in modern software design, object-oriented programming, OOP. So we're going to learn how to define our own custom data types with their own attributes and a method, just like Python's strings and lists. So just get ready to level up your skills significantly.